Thank you so much again for joining me on this channel. As always, I'm very grateful for all your previous views, likes, subscriptions and shares. Welcome to an increasingly dilapidated and crumbling cellar as we look at St. George. St. George's Day is on April the 23rd, and by a curious quirk of the church calendar in the Church of England, his saint day is never celebrated if it falls within 2 weeks after Easter. That's because the main focus should be the resurrection of Christ. St. George was made the patron saint of England by King Edward III in 1348 when he set up the Knight of the Garter. To be made a Knight of the Garter is a very prestigious thing indeed, and you are only outranked by those who have been awarded the Victoria Cross or the George Cross. Born in Cappadocia, or what we know as modern-day Turkey, in roughly 280 CE is where St. George's origin story begins. Little is known about his origins. It is believed that he was a soldier in the Roman army, and that set him on the pathway to being a saint. At the time that St. George was in the Roman army, he was under the command of Emperor Diocletian, who happened to not like Christians. Quite an interesting character, this emperor. In the 3rd century, he brought about a great deal of stability to the Roman Empire. He was also the first emperor to actually abdicate, and apparently spent his retirement in what we now call Croatia, happily tending to his vegetable garden. However, he wasn't a fan of Christians. He ordered that a newly built church in Nicomedia be burned to the ground, scriptures be destroyed, and that any precious jewels and any kind of money be taken for the coffers of the Roman Empire. By all accounts, George was very vocal about his Christian faith and spoke out about it. Now, discipline is quite an important part when it comes to being an army, so it was obvious that he was going to stick out. And as a result, he was unfortunately beheaded for his troubles in 303 CE. The story goes that where he was executed, his head was taken to Rome and a church built in his honour, but his body was buried in Lod, in what we now know as Israel. Still not entirely sure why his body was kept where he was executed and his head separated. I'm afraid I don't know that one. But what I do know is that this extraordinary building was built. This building is the Church of St. George and Mosque of Al-Khadr. They were built next to each other, and it houses the sarcophagus of where the body of St. George is believed to lie in rest. What I didn't know is that St. George became part of the 14 Holy Helpers during the Middle Ages. These 14 Holy Helpers were saints who were prayed to for protection against illnesses and nasty diseases, including plague and leprosy. They were sort of the avengers of their day. But of course, there is an elephant in the room, or perhaps I should say dragon. Where did this mythology come from that St. George slaughtered a dragon? Well, St. George got a huge popular following in the 11th and 13th centuries during the Crusades. He was seen as a nobleman, someone who was chivalrous, someone who was willing to do the right thing no matter what. It's during that point that this mythology emerged that apparently he rescued a princess who was under threat from a dragon. He was passing through what we now know as Libya. There was the princess, there was the dragon, and he beheaded the dragon, and therefore a story was born. The curious thing about St. George is how he's the patron saint of so many countries: England, Bulgaria, Georgia, Portugal, Romania, and it's not just restricted to Europe either. He's the patron saint of Ethiopia. He's the patron saint of scouting as well. So whatever you're doing to celebrate this Middle Eastern saint who seems to have had a remarkable impact across so many nations, I do hope that it goes well. Until then, please, if you're able to, like, comment and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your learning.